Hello, Henry from Belgium here. Today we're going back to 1993 to one of the most recognizable LEGO police stations from the classic town era. Set 6398, Central Precinct HQ. This set had been part of my LEGO town layout for years, but I never got around to making a full review, mostly because it wasn't completely finished. Some of the stickered elements were missing, and I didn't have the original box either. Recently, I was finally able to complete the set, and I even found a box in good condition. So today, I'm taking the time to give this set the full review it deserves. A few videos ago, I reviewed set 6598, Metro PD Station from 1996. That set really reminded me of this one. They share a lot of design elements and a very similar vibe. But there's one big difference. 6598 spreads the scene across two base plates with both land and water features. Central Precinct HQ also uses two base plates, but they form one solid structure. The front shows the complete build under bright blue skies, with every vehicle and minifigure posed in action. It's classic LEGO presentation. Clean, well-composed, and colorful. But you can spot a few differences compared to the boxes from the 1980s. They no longer use fully realistic photography. For example, there's no image of a child playing with the set. LEGO was already starting with adding illustrated elements in the background, creating a mix of artwork and real photography. It already hints at the Town Junior era, though thankfully it doesn't feel overly childish yet. Personally, I really like the box. The artwork, with all those shades of blue, really appeals to me. There are plenty of pictures as well, showing the play features, accessories, and even some alternate builds. My copy is in good condition. I actually found it in a rather unusual way, and those are often the best kinds of finds. Not through a pricey online auction or eBay listing, but at someone's home, where the set had been since his childhood. The set was incomplete, but I didn't mind. The seller didn't realize I was mainly buying it for the box, and the missing parts allowed me to get it for a fair price. So now, I actually have one complete set and half of another. And I handpicked the best parts from both to put together a clean, display-worthy version. The instruction manual is a handy A4-sized booklet with 32 pages. The build is clearly divided into three sections. First the minifigures, then the vehicles, and finally the main building. Everything is laid out clearly, step by step, just the way I like it. As was typical in the early 90s, there are no numbered bags or segmented build phases. You just get one big pile of parts, and you have to sort through everything yourself as you go. The set contains a total of 615 parts, including the minifigures. Quite a large set for its time. The set includes 5 minifigures, 4 police officers, and 1 crook. Each figure comes with a nicely printed torso and matching headgear. There's enough variation to tell them apart, even though 2 of them share the same face and torso. One detail that stands out. One of the officers wears a black cap with the word police printed on it, something no longer seen in the 1996 set, where the cap is plain black. The motorcycle officer, on the other hand, has a helmet without any print, even though helmets with the police marking were already being produced that same year. This shows how LEGO was still experimenting with different parts and prints within the same theme at the time. The crook is none other than Jailbreak Joe, a classic LEGO villain with a mustache and a printed prison torso with an inmate number. That torso appears in 5 different sets, so it's not particularly rare. But the combination of his hairpiece and legs makes this exact version unique to this set, which still gives him something special. You'll also find him in the 1996 set. Clearly, LEGO was turning him into a recurring character. The variety in uniforms and accessories adds realism and play value, although the style clearly marks a shift from the 1980s. The designs are rounder, more playful, a bit more cartoon-like. A noticeable move away from the tighter, more classic police look of earlier figures. And of course, having a prisoner in the set immediately introduces a storyline. Escapes, chases, roleplay. With just these 5 figures, you've got everything you need for an action-packed scene. Once Central Precinct HQ is fully built and standing in front of you, it immediately strikes you how impressive this set really is. Not just in size, but in that unmistakable early 90s look. Bold colors, clean lines, and above all, a strong sense of action. The motorcycle is the classic one-piece mold that LEGO has been producing since 1983. Instantly recognizable and pure nostalgia for me. What I really like here is that every stud is used. Printed tiles with the police emblem on the sides, trans-clear plates at the front and the back, and a handlebar piece on top. These little touches really bring it to life. The only thing missing is a cool windscreen, ideally one with a police sticker, which would have made it perfect. The small patrol car is a classic compact LEGO design from the 90s. Simple but effective. It's small and compact, with no roof and no seat, but it still has some nice decorative touches. The real eye-catcher is the white slope brick with the police sticker. My previous copy didn't have it, so I had to find that part separately. It seems minor, but visually it makes a big difference. I also like the windshield used here. This set comes with the trans light blue version, which is bright and clear, but I do find myself thinking the trans dark blue variant might have looked a bit tougher. It's also much rarer, so maybe that would have been a stretch for a basic patrol car like this. The Jeep is without a doubt the most rugged vehicle in this set. A proper police Jeep, solidly built and packed with detail. Up front is a light grey grille, which LEGO also used as prison cell bars. This specific version in light grey was only introduced in 1993 and ended up being used in just 9 sets, making it a fairly rare piece. Another highlight are the spring wheels holders 2x2, a standout part that only exists in red and appeared in just 16 sets overall. It gives the Jeep a sporty, energetic look that fits perfectly with the style of the time. Like the other vehicles, there's no seat inside, but it comes with a full set of accessories. A walkie-talkie, a shovel, a pickaxe, and even a backpack, just like the ones from the old Imperial soldiers. And once again, there's a police sticker on the front, which I only managed to add recently. The helicopter was genuinely fun to build. It felt like a believable model, not just some quick add-on like you sometimes get in fire station sets. This is a fully fledged police helicopter, large, sturdy, and instantly recognizable. The cockpit uses a blue canopy windshield, which gives it a sleek, modern look. Inside, there's a printed slope brick with a kind of navigation display that I don't see often. It reminds me a bit of the ones used in boats, but the layout here is different, a subtle detail I really appreciate as a collector. One thing that really stands out is the printed piece on the nose. It's completely unique to this set and doesn't appear anywhere else. Exclusive elements like that make a big difference when you're trying to complete a vintage set. On both sides of the fuselage, there are stickers that stretch across 2 panels. It looks great when the model is built, but it makes the stickers vulnerable. Other than that, the finishing touches are solid. Doors that swing open, a well-built fuselage, and of course, the large rotor blades up top that spin smoothly. The whole thing feels well-proportioned and durable. This isn't just a throw-in. This helicopter is fully integrated into the set's narrative. Together, these 4 vehicles form a well-balanced lineup, covering patrol, pursuit, and even air support. Each one clearly serves its own role within the set, and thanks to the variation in size and design, there's plenty of play value here. What I do miss a little is a proper prisoner transport vehicle, like the one included in the Metro PD station from 1996. That would have made the lineup feel just a bit more complete and added another layer to the overall story. The overall condition is quite good, though the close-ups reveal every bit of dust and wear. I could clean and replace everything down to the last detail, but I actually like this used look. You can tell it was played with. It carries stories. To me, that's what real vintage is all about. And now, the police building itself. Loyal viewers will know by now that I have a dedicated sub-collection of all LEGO police stations released between 1970 and 2000. And I have to say, this one is without a doubt the largest and most complete building in terms of decoration and presence. Sure, there's always room for debate between this one and the 1996 set. It definitely has its own strengths, but that one focuses more on extra themes, like water, with a boat and a prison van. It's well done and adds some play features that this one doesn't have. But if we're looking strictly at the police station itself, I personally think this one is stronger. It's a single solid structure, spread across 2 base plates, which is already quite special. One is the classic green 16 by 32, but the second is a printed 32 by 32 road base plate that appears in only 5 sets. Once again, taking a closer look reveals quite a few signs of wear, dust, and some dirt. As I go through this set, I clean it up a bit and replace a few parts here and there. But fully restoring it to look brand new? That's not the plan. As I said before, I actually like it to look used and vintage. What stands out most is that the building consists of 4 different floors. Something I haven't seen before. And even though this set includes a lot of windows, doors, and quite a few 1x2x5 bricks, I still found the building process one of the most challenging and varied within this theme. That's mostly because you really have to work with angles and layout transitions. There's a separate jail building, multiple levels, and the central platform with the stairs was especially fun to build. There are also plenty of small decorative details scattered throughout the build, and I'll show those to you in more detail shortly. But let me start with a few points that I think are less successful. The fact that there are 2 driveways but only 1 barrier feels like an odd decision. Either go for no barriers at all, or install one on each side. That would make more sense. Also, the placement of that single barrier isn't ideal. It's partly integrated into the reception area, which makes it a bit awkward to play with. If you only include one, you could have just placed it on the other side, where there's clearly enough room and nothing else gets in the way. Then there's something we often see in sets from this era, the lack of stairs. Here again, there are no stairs connecting the different floors, which is a pity, because in this case, it really would have been possible. Not necessarily for every level, but at least from the ground to the first floor. There are even spots in the layout where a staircase could have fit quite naturally. But of course, that would mean more bricks and more cost for LEGO. I understand it's always a trade-off. Another thing that bothers me is the way this particular section is finished. I get that they left an opening in the wall for play access, but because of that choice, part of the stair tread cuts awkwardly into the layout, just like the barrier. It just doesn't look very clean. And finally, the reception area is completely empty, which is a bit disappointing considering every other room does include some form of decoration. Even just a desk or a chair here would have made a big difference. The floor above, there's a small office space with a desk, and on it a printed tile showing security camera footage. A fun little touch. That said, the story only half holds up, because while there are speakers and antenna systems on the roof, there isn't really a visible camera. Then there's the bridge connecting the 2 main sections of the building. It's finished with red grille pieces and includes some lights. This is also where the 1x4 brick with the police sticker is located, a piece that's often missing in used sets and was something I had to source separately as well. The finish here is nicely done, with windows and doors that fit well into the overall structure. Each door even includes a 1x1 tile as a door handle and its own police sticker. All the other windows are decorated with a white striped pattern sticker, which gives the set a sense of consistency. If I turn the set around, you can clearly see the 4 different levels of this section. On the ground floor, there are 5 different tools and an extra motor helmet. Above that is a sort of forensics lab with a few special bricks. The wall panel with a sticker really stands out. Another piece I had to track down separately. There are also 2 printed tiles that are only found in 2 sets each, so they're fairly rare pieces and nice additions to my collection. The 3rd floor holds a general workspace with a wall panel showing a map sticker. The minifig here has a computer and a swivel chair. Nice detail, under the desk there's room for 2 printed tiles showing an audio reel. Finally, the 4th floor features a sleeping area, and up on the roof there's a small cluster of technical equipment like antennas and high-tech devices. One black part with a radar pattern really stands out. Turns out it's quite rare and only appears in 7 sets overall. Then there's the jail section. Nicely designed with plenty of room for the prisoner, including a bed. It features some of the rarer grey parts, and the barred door is made up of 2 ladders. There's a convenient handle that connects them, along with a well-executed locking mechanism. Together with the bandit, this adds real value to the set and sparks plenty of imaginative storytelling. Above that, a small break room with a coffee machine. And on the roof, a radar construction that's made from a combination of parts. A much nicer solution than just sticking on a single antenna. And one part definitely worth mentioning is the blue radar dish. In this particular blue color, it only appears in 5 different sets. Most collectors will recognize this part in its classic light gray version from the old space theme, but the blue variant is far less common, making it a subtle yet valuable highlight in this set. One definite advantage also worth mentioning is the inclusion of a proper helipad, something that was clearly missing in the 1996 set. And finally, a few flowers and railings add a nice finishing touch. Central Precinct HQ is without a doubt an interesting set, if only because of the impressive number of parts it includes. Most of the bricks are fairly common, which means the set isn't particularly hard to recreate. But what truly sets it apart are the printed and stickered elements. And there are quite a few of them. These details give the set its distinctive character and make it stand out in any collection. Beyond that, it's a great playset. With both police officers and a criminal included, there's immediate story potential. At the same time, it also works beautifully as a display piece. The double baseplate and 4-story structure give it a commanding presence that catches the eye. And for me personally, the fact that I was able to add this set with its original box and manual makes it feel complete. Not just as a vintage Lego set, but as a true piece of Lego history in my collection. In short, if you're a fan of classic Lego, especially police-themed sets, this one is an absolute must-have. Let me know what you think of this set in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It's free. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.